have a link to the YouTube channel that she can drop in the chat, so you can all please follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get my subscriber count up, and also just so you can always stay up to date on events or things that you might have missed. So that is getting started. I'll give it just a moment to sync up. There we go. Perfect. All right. Hi, hello, welcome. My name is Valorie Lewis, and this is Magical Monday Manifestations. And this is Tarot Unicorns and Coffee event. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome, welcome. I hope you join us on the live. I hope you at least come over to meetup.com, and search for Tarot Unicorns and Coffee. Find the group and see all of the other wonderful events that we hold throughout the month. And join us, join our community, join in on the fun. So for Magical Monday Manifestations, what I do is a group card pool. It's a group Tarot and Oracle card pool. Today I'll be doing Tarot, and Jacqueline will be doing the Oracle portion. And what we find is that as we tap into spirit, the divine guidance, your higher selves, your spirit guides, all of non-physical, let's just say it that way. All them peoples and things floating around up there, all of non-physical, as we tap in, we ask for what messages need to come through for the group. And that's past, present, future, because some of you are watching this on YouTube. Spirit knows no time. So as we tap in, no matter where your questions are, no matter what type of guidance you're seeking, what individual path you might be on, Spirit has a way of getting its message to you. So I hope you stay tuned and listen up. Go ahead and put your asking out there to the universe. What are you seeking from today's reading? What kind of guidance, clarity, advice, entertainment? I got the entertainment covered, y'all. Don't worry about the entertainment. What kind of information, insights, guidance are you seeking from the divine? Go ahead and ask. Put that out there to the universe. And now let's release it. Let's see it as maybe bubbles floating up to the sky, or balloons or feathers. Just release it, knowing that it's going to be received, listened to, and responded to by spirit, by the divine. And then it's our job to listen. It's my job as a reader to listen to those answers that stream through me. And it's our job as a group, as a collective, to be open and receptive and receiving of the answers that come in. So let's switch our asking knob off and turn our receiving knob on, and get ready to invite the divine in. I'm going to shuffle just a little bit more. This is a somewhat new deck. And when I feel spirit move me, I will begin pulling the tarot cards, and we'll get into the reading. The deck I'm using today, I only have one, so it's not like I'm gonna be showing y'all a lot, is the Kawaii Tarot cards. This deck, I just love this deck. I found this deck at Five Below, y'all. Yes, Five Below has tarot decks. So I don't want no excuses for those of y'all that are saying, I can't read tarot. Tarot decks are $20, $30, $50. No, they're $5. Five Below. And I got this deck because if you could see right there in the car, see the coffee cups? It was on the package, and I was like, coffee cups? I'm buying the deck for $5, a tarot deck with coffee cups. The entire suit of cups is all cute little kawaii coffee cups on the whole thing. Let me show you the devil card. Isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? I got this deck, and then I went back and bought a second deck, and this deck is actually the deck I let my granddaughters play with, which is why it's usually with me when I'm over here, but they don't know I'm using it today. They'll be all right. I'll just buy another deck. Beauty tarot cards. Yes, yes. Jacqueline's putting some things over there in the chat. I hope you are taking advantage of them. It's the link to the YouTube channel, as I mentioned. My Tarot Mastery class starts February 3rd in just a couple of weeks, y'all. Get in there. We are going deep on the tarot. We're going to learn all of the symbols, all of the meanings, a little bit of tarot history, a little bit of why did they use this image, what was Pamela Smith and Arthur Waite thinking. Arthur? It's not Arthur. What's his name? Ronald, wait, I don't know. I just be making up names. Whatever his name is. What were they thinking? What do the cards mean? And we go through each one of the individual cards. So all 78 cards, you'll get the symbology, the meaning, a little story with it. You will know the tarot inside and out by the time we leave. In addition to learning the tarot, we also have within the same course, we go over the Celtic cross spread, which is an ancient 10-card spread, been used for hundreds of years by tarot readers. You'll learn that. You'll learn how to set yourself up for success from reading for yourself or others. You'll also, for the very first time, have a chance to be certified by me as a certified tarot reader. I'm offering certification through this course. It's my first course where I offer certification. So wouldn't that be cool to be in the first graduating class of certified tarot readers by Valorie Lewis? It's all in my effort to take over the universe. I'm kidding. But so it's one day.
His name is Arthur.
Is it Arthur? I was right, y'all. I was like, Arthur can't. Okay, let me stop chit-chatting. Let's get into it. It's 11:11 here, so perfect time to get started. I do feel the cards have been sufficiently shuffled. Spirit, what do you have to tell us today? What kind of guidance do you have for this group? Oh, we got a lot of questions. I got a 6th card. Usually I only pull 5. I have a 6th card today. Yes, that's where I get that from. Craig put Pinky in the Brain over in the side. I used to watch Animaniacs as a kid. What are we going to do today? Pinky, try to take over the world. I said try to take over the universe. And then I started saying I'm going to try to take over the universes, known and unknown, just like everything. Just everything in creation is going to know that Valorie was once here. All right. Got my coffee. I got coffee, y'all. I got coffee. All is well in the world when Valorie has coffee. First up, let me spotlight myself so y'all can see these cute cards. They're so cute. First up, 4 of Wands. What a great card to start out the week with, the reading with. 4 of Wands. In traditional tarot, Rider-Waite-Smith, we see the 4 of Wands as a celebration. We see the wands are represented by these posts that are in the ground, and there's 4 situated in a square, and they have like little streamers on them. And you see this couple that's kind of dancing, and the idea is maybe they just got married. Who knows? Maybe they're just friends out for a frolic, but it's a celebration. You can tell they're celebrating and they're dancing, and the wands represented by the posts in the ground are decorated with So it looks like some type of a celebration. So the 4 of Wands, 4s also represent stability. How do I remember 4s represent stability? I think of the 4 legs of a table and how stable a table is, a 4-legged table is, or a 4-legged chair is. So 4s represent stability, and we have Wands representing our personal power. But specifically in the tarot, I just keep seeing this image of celebration. Celebration, celebration, celebration. Are you celebrating yourself? Are you celebrating how far you have come? Are you celebrating your goals? What? Celebrate your goals? I thought you were supposed to celebrate your successes. No, celebrate your goals as if they have already happened, and then watch and see how fast they happen. Celebrate your goals. Celebrate the fact that you were even inspired to make a goal. Celebrate the fact that if you were inspired to make a goal, Spirit already gave you everything you need to make that goal come true. Celebrate that. Hey, maybe I'm not there yet, but at least I know that because I have this thought, I also have everything I need to achieve it. It's kind of like I have been using this example for years, and I need to get a new example, but chocolate cake. I love chocolate, so I'm just going to stay with the chocolate cake example. If you have the idea, this is in spirit world. Let me put this in spirit world. This is not talking about your pantry because I don't know what you keep in your cabinets. But in spirit world, if spirit gives you the idea to make a chocolate cake, spirit knows you already have the flour and the cocoa powder and the eggs and the milk and the oil and the oven and the pan. Spirit knows that you already have all of this. And the only question is, are you trusting Spirit's guidance? Because most of us say one of 2 things. I got all the ingredients, but I don't know how. There's that word, how. I don't know how. So you just don't do it. And this is, of course, using the cake analogy as any goal thing that you're trying to reach in your life. Or you say, I don't have those ingredients. I don't know. I don't have what it takes to do what this idea is that was gifted to me. But you do. You just haven't looked behind those crusty crumb crackers to see that there's flour sitting back there. You haven't dug behind the takeout food to see that you do have a couple of eggs in the back of your refrigerator. If spirit is giving you the idea, the inspiration with an idea, a goal, a dream, a wish, an aspiration, spirit already knows that you have either you have all it takes to get to that success, or you will be gifted the things you need along the way. A neighbor will knock on your door and say, I don't know why, but I had a couple of extra eggs. Here you go. You will have what you need to get to your goal. Otherwise, spirit would not have inspired you with that idea. I feel that's really important to impress upon you, because this is January and people are all over the place, myself included, talking about setting goals, setting intentions. What do you want your 2024 to look like? And when you say, oh, I have this great idea for 2024, and then you immediately say, no, I don't have that. I better push that back a couple of years. What? Spirit is like, God damn it. Are you listening? So, Four of Wands, take time to celebrate. Know that the four is also representing stability. And to me, it's stability, meaning you have what you need to move forward. Wands, meaning it's your personal power. It's your inspiration. It's your creativity, taking and finding its stability in this world. And it's your job to sync up with spirit and let spirit figure out the how. How are we going to put it all together? Spirit's like, I got the recipe. Will you just trust me? It's going to taste really good. Just trust me. Six of Pentacles, speaking of being rejoiceful, speaking of the celebration and being rejoiceful, then we have Six of Pentacles. And Six of Pentacles, Pentacles is our earthly connected card. Pentacles is related to earth. Let me say it that way. And Six of Pentacles in the Tarot is a giving and receiving card. I feel like that goes pretty well with this. Because again, when we're talking about I don't know how, I don't feel like I have everything I need, the Six of Pentacles is the giving and receiving. The giving and the receiving is always a really good message. It's also represented as a cycle, which means you're not always going to be giving and you're not always going to be receiving throughout your life, and in various areas of your life. You may be the giver or you might be the receiver. Maybe in your career, you're the receiver because you show up just to get that paycheck and you don't give a rat's ass about anything that's going on with that company. You are receiver. But maybe in your home life, as a parent, a mother, a child, you're a giver, you're nurturing. So you see, it doesn't always mean that you're always receiving, you're always giving. It depends on these different areas of your life. And it's also reminding you that there's always a cycle. Always a cycle. As a young child, you were a receiver. Your parents took care of you. You grew up into an adult, maybe had kids of your own, and now you're a giver. So reminding you that there's cycles, reminding me that there's cycles has helped me be reflective and more receiving of what my life is showing me. Because sometimes I am not in a position to give to anybody energetically. Sometimes I don't even want to talk to people. So I'm just not in a position to give. I'm in hermit mode, for lack of a better explanation. But having those friends who are calling me and checking on me because they're in a position to give, I can receive that love. So it doesn't even have to be pentacles as in money, although that's usually where our brains go. Pentacles is anything you consider valuable in this world. Is it a relationship? Is it a friendship? Is it a family relationship? Is it something doing with your money and your finances? Because that is a huge part of our society and our life. But giving and receiving, making sure that you are allowing yourself to be in the flow, allowing it to be okay when you're receiving, when you can't give, and allowing yourself to give when you are in a position to give, because that's all part of the flow. Getting in the flow, allowing it to be a cycle. So that's also a good reminder as we reflect on maybe where we want to go or maybe what's going on in our life. I feel like somebody is beating up on themselves for just feeling like they have to ask for help. I don't know if that's resonating with someone here in this group, but if you're beating up on yourself for feeling like you have to ask for help and saying things to yourself like, I should be able to figure this out on my own. I've done this before. Why can't I do this right now? What's wrong with me? This is Spirit's message to you. chill the fuck out. Just chill out. Now is your time to receive. Now is your time to rest. You will have a chance to give, and I will nudge you and tell you when I feel like it's appropriate for you to give your surplus to others. But right now, it's time for you to relax and receive. Stop beating up on yourself. Everybody needs a little help every once in a while. That should be the title of a song. I bet it is a song. I bet Bob Marley sang about that. Did y'all see that Bob Marley's got a new movie? Not Bob Marley. I mean, he's dead. But they're making a movie about Bob Marley that comes out next month on Valentine's Day. I might have to go see that. I don't know much about him. I just know every time I hear his songs, I feel the energy of his song. I don't know much about his life story. I know that when his songs hit, I'm just like, oh my God, who was that? And somebody's like, that's either Bob Marley or his son. Energy. Oh my God. That's big energy coming through even after death. Anyway, I'm on a whole different tangent that ain't got nothing to do with Tarot, but I do plan on seeing that movie. Next up, Seven of Pentacles. Now, isn't it interesting how we get a 6 and a 7 back to back? Whenever I see sequential numbers like that, I really take notice because Spirit is trying to tell me something. Mostly Spirit is trying to tell me progression from one to the other, especially a step up progression. And they're side by side too. Sometimes they're sequential, but they're spread out in the deck. These are side by side. Oh, this is interesting. Maybe I didn't shuffle enough. This is interesting because I just looked down to see what the other two cards were. We'll get to them in a minute. But from the 6 to the 7, we're going up in numbers. So it's forward progression. 7 of Pentacles in the Tarot. Let me jog my memory and pull this up. I like how their pentacles are little diamonds on them. And little coins in the corner. 7 of Pentacles in the Tarot. 7, 7. 7 of Pentacles in the Tarot is the worker who's sitting down and he's resting. So he's done his work. He's planting his field. He's sitting down and he's resting. Is that right? 6. Yeah. 7 of Pentacles is the one who's sitting down resting and he's looking at his vine. I think it's like a tree. It's like a young sapling. Anyway, whatever he's looking at, it's growing. It's something he can look at, but it's not really bearing fruit yet. He's done his hard work and he's sitting down and he's waiting for it to bear fruit. It's like a rest, which pairs up really well with the 6, the giving and receiving. When I said, if you're in a period where it feels like things aren't moving, you need to rest. You just need to sit and realize, okay, this is my receiving mode. And this is the rest mode, but this is the rest after doing the work. The 7 of Pentacles has done the work, has planted the field, has tended to the field. It's that one where he's got his, I guess it's like some garden tool and he's just kind of leaning on it and he looks really tired and he's looking at the whatever fruit tree, whatever is in front of him. So he's done the work. He's planted the field, he's tended to it, done the work. And now he's sitting and resting. He's tired and waiting. What is he waiting on? Think of yourself as a gardener. You've planted something in the ground. You've done your part. You've tilled the ground. You've made sure there weren't any bugs or, rabbits eating it, whatever. You've done your part. There's nothing more to do. If you sit down and you're tired at the end of the day and there's nothing more you can do from a human perspective, what do you think that gardener, that planter, that person is sitting and waiting on? Spirit. Spirit to make the sun shine. Spirit to make it rain when it needs to rain. Spirit to push the nutrients up to the plant, to feed the plant so the plant can grow. Spirit to just not do anything because nature knows how to take care of itself when we don't mess it up. And that tree is going to grow when not bothered by human interference, so to speak. Humans can help, but humans can also interfere. So that worker is sitting down and waiting for Spirit. And maybe that's the stage that we're at in our life. Spirit was like, yeah, that's the stage all of y'all are at in your life. And it's not necessarily sitting down in a physical sense, but it's a stepping back and allowing Spirit to do its part of the job. We are all being called to call in our magic more, to be in our magic more, to be magic more. And in doing all of that, that is inviting Spirit, the divine, God, our higher self, inner being, whatever you call it, in, so that we're not in this Pentacles, physically manifested world all alone. So that now we have this insight, this divine guidance coming in and helping us bring whatever it is that we want into manifestation. Have I told y'all it's an 8-year? I think I maybe mentioned it once or twice. It's an 8-year, it's an earth year of the earth dragon, if you're into Chinese astrology. It is a year of manifesting. It is a year of manifesting. Who's manifesting? You. Here's the problem. Co-manifesting, co-creating. Yeah, did y'all notice when you joined Tarot Unicorns and Coffee, you're called a caffeinated co-creator? It's because it's a two-person job, two-person, loosely person. It's a two-party job. Your job and their job. Your job is not to worry about the how. Your job is to dream. Your job is to hold the vision. Your job is to do whatever you can do in an inspired action type of way. And your job is to follow the breadcrumbs that Spirit is laying out. And Spirit is figuring out the how. Spirit has the recipe, y'all. It's not your job to figure out if it needs to be 2 eggs or 3 eggs. Spirit has been making chocolate cakes since the beginning of time, and Spirit knows how many eggs and what size of eggs and what type eggs taste the best. Spirit has the recipe. Your job is to just say, do the eggs go in now? Do I feel inspired to crack these eggs? Your job is to follow the inspired action. Spirit's got the recipe. This 7 of Pentacles is about sitting back, not necessarily sitting back and resting. Some of us need to rest, but more or less sitting back and letting Spirit come in and do Spirit's part of the co-creation process. All right, next up, 2 more swords, and I'm starting to feel like I did not shuffle these cards correctly, but I'm gonna keep going. My nose is running like crazy and I don't have I do have some tissue. One moment, please, sorry.
And we do believe you shuffled those cards enough. We heard you, Valerie. We heard you shuffling and shuffling and shuffling.
I know. I was like, man. And then because they were new, I said, let me shuffle them a little bit more. So I did shuffle the cards, y'all. But we have the 6 and the 7 back to back. And then we have 2 swords back to back, and they're also sequential. So the first one is the next one is the 2 of Swords. The 2 of Swords, this is interesting, but it makes perfect sense based upon the story that's unfolding in my crazy brain. When we talk about the stability of stepping into our power and celebrating ourselves, the 6 and the 7, recognizing where we are in the cycle, sitting back and letting Spirit come in. And then we have the 2 of Swords. This 2 of Swords is for those of y'all who are hard-headed. And I'm talking to myself, but I'm also talking to y'all. The 2 of Swords is the card that says a decision needs to be made. Swords is air. Hey, did y'all know we're in Aquarius season? And Aquarius season is an air sign. Even though she's pouring water, it's an air sign. So I might talk about that a little bit later, but let me stay on track because my brain tends to get really flitty and flighty in air signs because that's just how my brain works. My brain is like, we're taking a break today. Look, squirrel. But beautiful things happen in air signs for me. So anyway, back to this being an air sign. Back to us being in Aquarius and we're getting an air sign. 2 of Swords. Swords is an air sign. I'm trying to get on track. The train is back on the track. 2 of Swords is about a decision. And in Rider-Waite-Smith, I know you can't gather much here from this idea, except that both of these swords are different. And that's important because it means you have a choice to make. There's 2 different swords to choose from, and both of these are different. I would go towards this one because I like color. But in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, there's a blindfolded gal. She's holding 2 swords that are huge, like humongous, like I was going to say dragon slayer swords, but I don't like that term because we don't kill dragons. Dragons are our friends, but big swords. And she's holding them both, and they're like situated on her lap. And behind her is the sea. Behind her is intuition. Behind her is spiritual realm. Behind her is water. She's blindfolded. She's got these 2 heavy swords. And if you see how she's positioned, she's also sitting on a stone chair. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my ass needs something a little softer than a stone chair. So she's not comfortable, and she's holding these 2 very heavy swords. And the idea is she has to choose one. She has to choose one, and she has to choose one quickly because they're too heavy for her to maintain that position in that sitting arrangement for very long. So what happens if she doesn't choose? Well, they're going to choose for her. She's not going to be able to hold them both. One will fall and she'll have to grab the other one, or both will fall. So it's the idea that she needs to make a decision, and she needs to make a decision rather quickly. This is why I said this card is for the stubborn ones in the group, because you're sitting there and you're refusing to move forward. And all you need to do to move forward is decide. What's keeping you from deciding? Fear, doubt, not enough trust, not using your magic, not seeing the path forward in a magical way, seeing the path forward in a practical way that says, I can't do that, or this person is blocking me, or I wish I could. I wish I could do this, but that's not a choice for me. So I guess I have to sit here and wallow on the fence. Nope. Spirit is like, you always have a choice. And I'm always here to help you with whatever choice you make. Just make a choice. Please just decide so we can move forward. Two of Swords is decide so we can move forward. Also, not making a choice is a choice. Not making a choice is a choice. By default, one of those swords is going to fall, or both of those swords are going to fall. If you don't follow the inspired action, I keep hearing them point me back to inspired action. I feel like someone is being moved. Someone is being given inspired action, and their own human brain is getting in the way and stopping them from taking that inspired action. If you don't take that inspired action, will the whole world crumble around you and your life be dismal and doomed for the rest of forever? No. No, if you don't take the inspired action and you drop both the swords, guess what? Spirit's going to come around and say, well, look at the mess you made. And it's going to pick him up, and it's going to hand you the same choice again. And it's going to say, let's try this again. You never miss out. You never get too far off in the weeds that you can't make a choice. But it does make life a little bit more bumpy and a little bit more challenging than it needs to be when you don't follow inspired action when it comes up. So you have this inspired action. Spirit is saying, make a choice. It's up to you. You're going to make it now in a timely manner, or you're going to wait until the swords fall and clatter around your feet. And now you have, I don't know, a couple of toes missing, some blood everywhere. You got a mess to clean up. And then Spirit's going to pick them swords back up and say, here we go again. You still got the same choice to make. Might look a little bit different as you move a little further down your path, but you're never going to miss out. You're never going to miss your turn. You're never going to lose out, because Spirit is always saying, if this is what you want, we're going to get you there, period. Y'all don't trust Source enough. Spirit is like, I imagine, did you? Spirit is like, I don't think you know who you must have forgot who you was talking to. That's what I say to my grandkids all the time. You must have forgot who you was talking to. You better change your tone. And that's what Spirit is saying to us right now. You better change your tone. I don't know what all this doubt and fear crap is. You must have forgot who you're talking to. Nothing is impossible for me. So we have the Two of Swords. Make a decision. Somebody said, I'm definitely called out. I need to make a definite decision and stop sitting in limbo. Here's your sign. Here's your sign. What happens after it? The Ace of Swords. That's what I said, sequential. But this time we're going in the other direction. But that's not a bad thing, because it's swords. And for those of y'all that know Tarot, swords is a progression towards a beautiful thought. A decision needs to be made. Oh, maybe. And then it gets to the Ten of Swords where it's like game over. So for me, the sword suit is almost in reverse of some of the other suits, because the sword shows a progression towards not making a decision, a progression towards what happens if I let my thoughts rule me instead of me being in charge of my thoughts. So it's not a progression towards badness, but it is a progression towards a heavier feeling. So if you were to go from the 10 down to the 1, it would be a progression from heaviness towards light. So if we have a 2 needing to make a decision, and then we move to a 1, we're still moving in the right direction as it applies to the suit of swords. I hope I did not confuse y'all too much. And if I did, take my course and I'll explain it all. So here we go. Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, it's the beginning. It's a 1. It's a fresh new thought idea, because we're still talking about swords. We're still talking about air energy. We're still talking about our thinking mind, also communication. But I feel like this is mostly, these 2 swords for this week is mostly talking about our thought processes or our mindset. And so this Ace of Swords is talking about back to inspired action. I was getting ready to say something else, and Spirit put that idea right in my mind. Source put an inspired action idea right in my mind. That's funny, Source, right as I was pulling the Ace of Swords card. I get it. Anyway, it's taking those hits and going with it and following it and stopping what I was about to say the thing that was inspired to say. Ace of Swords is taking that inspired action, that inspired thought, and acting upon it. Now, Ace of Swords doesn't generally represent acting. I'm adding the acting because Spirit is adding the acting. Spirit is telling me it's the time to follow inspired action, inspired thought. Inspired action starts with an inspired thought. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what Spirit's trying to say. So we've got this Two of Swords. We need to make a decision. What happens after we make a decision? Oh, woe is me. I don't know if I made the right decision. That's what some of y'all do. That's what I do too. Let me stop pointing fingers. Yeah, I need to point it this way. That's what I do. I made a decision. I'm not sure if it was the right decision. I'm an overthinker. Anybody out there an overthinker? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But in the interim, in the in-between, in the meantime, what we often do is we make a decision and then we second guess that decision. Spirit is saying, let it be this way instead. Make the decision and then wait for me to step in and give you inspired action as far as your next step, as far as confirmation, as far as validation. It doesn't matter. Here's what I have learned. When we are in a position where we are all light workers in this room, we're all trying to do right in this room for the most part, I hope. Yes, we're all trying to do right. I had to check with Spirit on that. Spirit was like, yes, Valerie, everybody's trying to do right, right? Everybody's trying to do right. You're faced with a decision. You're not sure. They both seem pretty equal, or maybe they both seem really crappy. In that case, it doesn't matter. Make a decision and line up with it. This is what Spirit has told me time and time again. And when I started listening and actually doing it, it has proven to be true in my personal life. Make a decision, line up with it, and Spirit will line up with your decision. So you have two jobs. They both seem equally crappy. Both of them make you wake up at 3 o'clock and drive 2 hours in traffic to make $8 an hour. Both of them are in opposite directions. You don't know which one to choose. They both seem equally crappy. And you're saying to yourself, maybe if I just don't decide, maybe another job offer will come through. Maybe this, maybe that. And you're waffling. And now no decision has been made and it's been weeks. Here's what I'm saying. When you're in that situation, when both decisions seem equal or seem challenging or seem to have the same weight, choose one. It doesn't matter. Line up with that one, and Spirit will make that one the next step on your path, the next rock, the next cobblestone on your path. In those situations, it doesn't matter. Now, in a situation where you know good and damn well you're not supposed to be over here drinking and cussing and stealing from people, and you're supposed to be in church on Sunday, those decisions, that's not the decision I'm talking about. If you make this decision to cuss and steal and be a menace to society, Spirit can still line up with that. I started to say they won't. Spirit is like, yeah, Spirit. Spirit just said in my ear, Spirit said, what do you think we've been doing with the human race for the last 100 years? So we can make bad decisions, and Spirit will still help us line up and steer us back to the light if that is where we are headed. So there is nothing that Spirit cannot help you with. So I just corrected myself with Spirit's help. So with that should just really free you up. Like, what? I can do anything? Yes, if you make the decision, if you put all of your focus and your intention behind that decision, with the understanding that this decision is going to move me forward, is going to take me where I want to be, regardless of what the decision looks like. Maybe you did decide to stay out and drink and do whatever you were going to do. But if you have the understanding that Spirit is going to back me up and help me make this decision my next step, Spirit will back you up and help make that decision the next step. That's that Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is Spirit coming in with inspiration, with divine guidance, giving you that next thought, giving you that inspired action. After you've made your decision and you're saying, I don't know what to do, Spirit's like, here's what to do. I got you. I'm about to give you an inspired action, but I need you to make a decision so I know which inspired action to pull out of my deck. So that's what we have there. I have a sixth card when I told you I had an extra one. Let's see. Somebody else is saying I need to take an inspired action, but I know that for years. Somebody else is saying, I made a decision that turned out to be wrong for me, but the right choice came back to me and I got a do-over. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yep, there we go. Every time I think about, nope, I'm not going to mention that. There's a popular, I am going to mention it, but I'm going to mention it in a way that y'all get to draw y'all's own inferences from what I'm about to say. Every time I think about decisions that need to be made and what's right and what's wrong, I'm brought back to the understanding that there is no right and wrong. We as individuals assign right and wrong to decisions, to paths, to ways of living. Like how I just said, drinking and cussing and stealing from people is wrong. That's my own opinion. There's some people out there drinking and cussing and stealing from people and living a very prosperous life and feeling very aligned and very joyful in what they're doing because they don't see it as wrong. I'm saying that to say spirit doesn't want us to hurt other people. I'll put it that way. Spirit is not just like, yeah, go kill that person. No, spirit does not want us to hurt other humans. Spirit wants us to operate in love and light. But beyond operating in love and light, spirit is very, very lenient as far as what that means to the individual. If you love stealing from people and you feel a sense of joy and wrapped up in a blanket of love when you go out and steal from someone, I don't know where that falls on the spectrum. I just know that spirit does not judge that individually wrong because I ask myself, how does this very prominent political figure seem to excel and seem to live a life of success and happiness, even though they might seem a little delusional to the general public? And that's, to me, that's a classic example of this person is in alignment with what they want to do with their life. And spirit is saying, yep. And this person is saying, I don't care about the opinions of others. And spirit is saying, me neither. So it's, spirit will not allow you or back you up when you go to harm others. That's when spirit is like, hey, but spirit will back you up and follow you in whatever you have decided is in alignment for your life. Somebody put over in chat Robin Hood, classic example. That person was, even though it's a fictional character, many people have taken on that archetype and lived a life like Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Now, I have my own opinions of that, but we can all agree that in literature, the Robin Hood character was considered a hero, even though their main means of supporting themselves was thievery. So that's kind of what I mean with, as long as you are in alignment and as long as you're doing it from a spirit, place of spirit and light. I'm all over the place, y'all. That spirit will back you up. Here's what I know. Let me just bring it home and make it very clear. Spirit doesn't see right and wrong. We do. It's our job to live our life in a way that feels right for us. And spirit will come in and back that up, or spirit will lead us along a path of self-development and self-growth, that even though we are still doing these things, we expand ourselves and we evolve ourselves to a situation where we're not doing harm to others. I hope I cleaned that up well, because I felt like I went all off on a myriad of tangents in that discussion. Maybe I gave you something to think about. Maybe I caused some of y'all to go, oh, she's wrong. Whatever. Take what resonates for you and throw the rest out. But I love spirit and the advice that spirit gives me. Okay. Somebody put over in the chat, man in the mirror, morals, values, and ethics, in the end, work themselves out. Yes, agree. Okay, so we have the sixth card. I'm going to read the sixth card, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jacqueline to read a few of the oracle cards she has. The sixth card is the Four of Cups. See, I told y'all the cups had coffee on them. I think this card was just for my delight and pleasure. It's got 4 cups, and then it's got the coffee cups in each one of the. Remember, I said fours are all about stability, and cups is about, to me, cups is water. Cups is either about intuition or emotions. This is about psychic and intuition and those type of abilities taking root and finding the beginning stages, because it's a 4, the beginning stages of stability. So whoever's out there asking for a little bit more guidance, a little bit more intuition, a little bit more, hey, spirit, that two of swords, that was talking about me. I got a decision to make. But can you give me a little bit more intuition on which way I need to go? Just a little help. This is your help. This is spirit saying, I'm here. Tune in, meditate, pray, walk with the Lord, walk outside. Don't, if you're in Kansas City, don't, not unless you got spikes on your feet. Don't go walking outside in Kansas City. But do something that allows you to connect with spirit, because spirit is saying, I've got the insight you need. I've got the intuition you need. Stability. Also, you know what else this card means? Drink more coffee. Everybody go drink more coffee. That's what it means. All right. Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Jacqueline. Jacqueline, can you read from the Chris Ann deck first? Just because I'm really excited about that one.
Unmute. All right. Good morning, or wherever you are. The Chris Ann deck is called the Sacred Creators Oracle. And it's the Chris Ann deck. And let's see what Spirit has to say for you guys this morning. Here we go. Fall in love with your own story. Card 54. Fall in love with your own story. So let's see what the book has to say, and then let's try to tie it in if we can with. Okay. The essential meaning: sharing your story, accepting responsibility as the author of your own epic tale, revisiting the inspiration behind your brand story. Self-care message: need to be wary of any negative stories you tell yourself about your circumstances and abilities. A desire to adopt or mimic someone else's story because you don't love your own. An incongruent brand message: the need to trust in your own story and communicate it honestly. So if anything, I'm getting that stories have power. And I think we need to understand who we are and what we can do. And I think what Valorie was saying earlier about that we co-create our own stories, that sometimes we fall totally in love with our stories because they seem to romanticize our life. Or sometimes we fall in love with our negative stories too. And I think the bottom line is fall in love with your own story, but realizing which is something that's a little off base. And all we have to do is ask Spirit, and Spirit will bring us back to where we need to be. He'll let us know if we're off base or if it is our actual story. So the whole idea of it's important to share your own story, take your own, accept your responsibility, but revisit the fact that your story might need some guidance and some intuition from Spirit. Are you getting anything, Valorie, about
No,
this card?
I love how that lined up with the intuition, the last Four of Cups that we read.
Yeah.
Can you show that card?
I sure can. Let me try to. There we go.
I like it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
there
have
we
to
go.
get that.
There we
Fall
go.
in love with your own story. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So that's one of my new decks, and it's a wonderful deck. It's a beautiful deck, and I love Chris Ann. So that's wonderful. I mean, the Light
Yes,
Seers deck is one of my favorite. So that one.
that's what
Okay.
I was gonna say. Yes, the
Yeah.
Light Series deck. For those of y'all who are familiar with the Light Series deck, very popular tarot deck. That's the Chris Ann we're talking about.
Yes. And this next deck is from Sonia Choquette, the Divine Energy Oracle. She's someone that I follow that really has a very close, intimate connection with spirit. And that has really helped me to even open up my walk with spirit. So let's see where this takes us today. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can, are these alphabetical? Please say you are alphabetical. That would help my life a lot better. Or do I have to go to table of contents? Okay. Does it say the number of the card? That would be nice. Of course not. Okay, let's find it. Can't be that hard to find. Okay, it says page 108. When I show you the card, it's pretty easy to figure out what that means, but the card is keep your commitments. But what does she say in her book? Because that's kind of, keeping your commitments is a great card. However, where is she going with this? Be mindful of the commitments you make, implied or otherwise, and avoid agreements you're unable to see through. Keep your promises and honor your word in all situations. Respect yourself and others with what you say and how you say it. Be clear, gentle, and speak with intention and integrity. Your ego may distort your view and lead you away from authentic communication, so beware. Your reputation can either be established or lost at this time. Your divine energy is guiding you to remain in alignment with your highest self and protect your reputation at all costs. Your divine energy is calling you to embody integrity and humility in your communication and in your intentions. Embrace and respect your spiritual responsibilities. So the divine invitation is rein in your ego and listen to your spirit. Be calm and available to the deepest guidance from within. You're in a place of great influence and will either earn or lose the respect of others, depending on your intentions and how you express them. Keep your promises and fulfill your obligations. So in a way, I think that this brings us back to what I was just saying, to follow your intuition. And if anything, if you're not sure what your intuition is, because sometimes we're not quite sure if that's our intuition or what this is, and if what we need to do is ask spirit for a little bit of clarity. And then he can let us know if it's ego that's speaking up or if it's actually spirit talking to us. So keep your commitments, but keep your stories to whatever the spirit says our stories are. What do you think, Valorie?
I love that. Yeah, the only thing I would add, I love that how you said it to what spirit says. That I feel like it's super important whenever we look at, especially this time of change. We're all collectively going through this time of change. There's a whole bunch of pointers that are pointing to that. So during this time of change, making sure that you are aligned with your higher self, that you are aligned with spirit, that you are aligned with inner being, knowing, because it's going to ask you to re-examine those commitments, those responsibilities, those promises that you have made. And doing so when you're linked up with spirit and the higher self is going to be key. Here's what I found. Sometimes I make a commitment from a lower vibration, and this is not to say I was in a bad vibration, just a lower vibration. And then life bumps me around some. I change my beliefs. I'm at a higher vibrational point, and I look at that commitment that I've made, and it does not fit. My job to be in alignment with who I am now is to allow that commitment or that bond or that responsibility to not be mine anymore, but to do so in a way that still honors the commitment. And it could be as simple as saying to a friend who you have agreed to go to the gym with for a year membership, if that doesn't align with you anymore, it could be as simple as just calling that friend and saying, hey, I know I agreed to do this back in October, but now it's January. Some things have changed for me. I'm in a different space in my life, and this just isn't a fit for me anymore. That's honoring the commitment, but also honoring yourself and your commitment to self on an even higher level by allowing yourself to step out of something that does not align with you. So you're not just breaking stuff and moving on and leaving people hanging. You're honoring it by saying, I'm in a different space than I was when I made this commitment. Things have changed, and that's why I'm no longer able to uphold this commitment. And then you're honoring your commitment to yourself first and foremost and following that.
And a person is being more authentic when they follow exactly, well, being more transparent and being more authentic when they follow exactly what's happening with them, rather than trying to make things work when they're not in alignment. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I have angel prayers, oracle cards from Kyle Gray. Let's see what Kyle Gray has to say and what spirits is going to speak through his cards. Okay. Angel Haniel, honor your feelings. Thank you, Haniel, for supporting me as I honor my emotions. Beautiful card. Wow. Archangel Haniel. Let's see what the book says. Does it say an actual? I guess it's just going to be under Archangel Haniel. Let's see. Honor your feelings. Here we go. 44. General meaning. You're allowed to be emotional, and it's completely natural to express your emotions. The angels are encouraging you to acknowledge how you feel and express that in a positive and loving way. You are a sensitive soul, and probably more sensitive at this time, but this is great. When you express your emotions, you're expressing how much you care about a situation. And when you begin to acknowledge how you feel, you come into a deeper alignment with yourself. Oh my goodness, we were just talking about alignment, Valorie. So the expanded interpretation, your sensitivity is not a curse, but a gift from God. You're being encouraged to clear your emotions out by honoring how you feel and being honest with yourself. You will then be able to express who you truly are and will come into alignment with the gifts and talents you have to share. And just so you know, Archangel Haniel is the goddess of the moon. Her name means the grace of God, and she's a powerful angelic force that helps us access our gifts and talents. She can help us unlock our empathetic and intuitive abilities. But in order for this to happen, we have to connect with our deepest emotions we're feeling now. Let Haniel support you with this and allow her moonlit aura to help you shine with grace. And I do know that I just got a bit of a hit with, remember, when you're asking anything of any of the archangels, you have to ask to receive. You have to ask. They're just standing there ready to go, but you have to ask. Thank you. And guess what? That was on page 44. I just looked down and saw your 44 and I went,
Yes.
page 44? Wow.
4 is my favorite number, y'all, for many, many reasons. So I love when I get those angel numbers show up. I might have to get that.
Everything's just fitting together so well, isn't it?
Yeah, I really love that. And I love that last message. It made me think of being authentic, like really being who you truly are on all levels and moving through life in that way. I love that. And I love that she's linked to the moon. That's the first thing I saw. Look at that big old beautiful moon behind her. That's yes, right. I love the moon too, yeah. Thank you so much for that. I think we're almost at time.
Do you want one more card or do you want to just leave it at the way it is? Oh, you maybe you want to mention what's coming up?
Yeah, let's leave it with that being the last card. I love that deck from Kyle Gray. What is the name of that one more time? Angel Prayers?
Angel Prayers, Oracle cards.
And I think that's his new one. I love that picture, that image on there. And about being more authentic, stepping into authenticity. I want to mention to anyone watching, yeah, that is the newest one. I love the colors on that one.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Next month in February, within the membership, we're going to be talking about that self-discovery, discovery of self, like figuring out who we really are, loving ourselves more, all of those things. I think that's the thing we decided on next month, self-discovery, discovery of self within the membership. And the membership is only $22 a month. And in addition to getting those every weekly meetings with me where we're going to talk about discovery of self next month. We have a theme every month. In addition to those, you also get energy sessions for free. You also get some of the events for free. You also get access to me and some behind the scenes groups for all just for $22 a month. So if you're interested, that link is over there in the chat. And lastly, what I just want to say is this is called Magical Monday Manifestations for a reason. Hopefully you are taking this information, this guidance from the Oracle cards, those beautiful cards we had there at the end, also from the Tarot, also from any messages that Spirit that came through to you personally as you sat in this group and listened and opened yourself up. Hopefully you are taking those messages, that guidance, that input, and using it to co-create and to manifest your world, to really create life the way you want it to be, because that's what we all came here to do. And that is definitely what the energies are supporting this year and going into this new season, this new period, this new moment of change. So take some time to sit with that, ask yourself, what do I really want to create? And use some of this information, some of this guidance to help you create that. All right. Yes, I do in-person meetings. Someone asked over in the chat, Valerie, do you ever do in-person meetups and readings, etc.? Yes. Stacy, I don't know if you're local. Stacy, are you Casey? Yes, I have been meaning to get an in-person meetup back on the calendar for months now. Then the weather got crappy, but yes, I do in-person meetups here in Kansas City. I also travel to Denver, Colorado very often and do meetups and readings and all sorts of things there in Denver as well. So keep watching the calendar. When I do in-person things, it's almost always 99.9% of the time posted on the meetup calendar. So I do hope to get some of that going here shortly. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful week. Manifest, co-create, make life, make reality the way you want it to be. And I hope I see you back here next Monday. Love you all. Have a great week. Stay warm.